News last week from energy regulator Ofgem that average yearly energy bills will rise by almost £100, have added more anxiety and stress to people who might have to choose heating over eating this winter. 14% of households live in fuel poverty right here in the East Midlands, which is slightly above the national average of 13%. That's according to national fuel poverty charity National Energy Action. And the charity Groundwork 5 Counties is offering free signposting to financial help, advice on how to heat your home better and cheaper, as well as identifying problems like damp and mould in houses and helping to tackle these. And joining me now in the studio is Mike Blackham, a Green Doctor trainer at Groundwork 5 Counties. Thank you so much for joining us today. And today is actually Fuel Poverty Awareness Day, and we talk about fuel poverty. What actually does it mean? What constitutes fuel poverty?
So fuel poverty is when someone is having to pay more for their energy and heating their house than the average, but is also on a less income for it, so it is actually pushing them into a deficit.
So 14% of people here in the East Midlands, which seems like a wildly high number to me, are living in fuel poverty. How much of a worry do you think that rise in energy cost that we heard about last week will have on people?
It's a big impact it has. A lot of the people that we see, it's affecting their mental health as well as their physical health with regards to, one, not sort of putting the heating on as much, but also sort of the implications of if they do put it on, the possible debt ramifications and things like that. So it's a big issue. It's
really big, isn't it?
Huge.
And I feel like this year feels even worse than it has done in previous years.
Yeah, I mean, the prices have come down since the peaks earlier towards the end of last year, but the problem is there isn't the additional support that the government put in place of the £66 a month.
Yeah,
so that's not there anymore. And yet all the other things have still gone up in price, so your food and things like that have still gone up. So it is a huge demand on people for this year. There's just not the additional support there from the government like there was last year.
Now, your job is a Green Doctor trainer.
Yes.
What exactly does this mean?
So I train the Green Doctors, which are the energy advisors we have amongst our team, who go out to individuals in their home or over the phone, whatever they prefer, and we can give them tailor-made energy advice to help those individuals save as much money as they can on their energy bills while still keeping them warm. It's not just a case of switching things off, it is the case of using them in the most efficient way to make sure they can get their heat and stay warm.
So what kind of things can we be doing? If people are watching now and they're thinking, actually, I could really do with maybe not putting the heating on as early or as high, what can we do to save money?
It's a really tricky one because obviously you want to make sure you're warm enough. Mm-hmm. That is the key thing that we're sort of emphasising here, to make sure you're still keeping yourself warm. How you go about that is where you can sort of do your fine tuning to make it a little bit better for you financially. So for example, there's lots of things out there sort of with regards to how to reduce your energy bills by turning your boilers down to 60. Great in certain households. In other households it needs to be higher to keep it warm enough, but it is one of those things that's something that can be done. Taking a look at just about everything you do and just taking a second to think, is there a cheaper way of me doing this? So drying your clothes, don't use the tumble dryers. A lot of people already aren't. But things like your showers. Electric showers are one of the most expensive devices in your house, but you don't think about it because it's part of your routine.
No.
It's hugely expensive. Your boiler's there, and then it's your electric shower, really. So they're 9 kilowatt devices on average. So if it was on for an hour, you wouldn't have it on for an hour in one go, but that would be 9 units of energy at 27, 28p per unit.
So what would the advice be for that? Shorter showers? Shorter
showers, yeah. I mean, I speak to some people and they've got it down to the point where they shower, switch it off, lather up, then switch it back on again, which is fine if you can do that, but the recommendation is to try and keep it to like 4 to 5 minutes.
And how much demand is there for services like yours at the moment?
Huge amount of demand. A lot of the time when you get a property, whether you've inherited it, you've moved into it as a rental, or you purchased a home, you don't get an instruction manual on how to use the heating system in the house. So a lot of what we do is actually just educating people on how to use their heating system, which sounds really straightforward, but it is the case of setting up the programmer, your thermostatic radiator valves, making sure they're set correctly so you've got the right heat going to the rooms that you want it in the most, and explaining that to people can make a huge difference, because the people just doing it as to how they were told to do it when they first moved in by the previous owners or something like that. It's not always the most efficient. If
there's people watching, I'm sure there are, who are thinking, actually, I could really do with some advice, some help on how to do this, how can they find out more and get in contact with you?
So it's contacting us via our email address, which is Green Doctor at groundworknottingham.org.uk. Or just, Googling Green Doctors Groundwork and you'll find us and you'll be able to contact us from there.
Amazing. Well, thank you very much for sharing that with us. Thanks, Mike.